What's up, guys? It's Lionel the Builder back again with another episode, and today we're gonna just chill and watch a couple of videos for the junior developers out there, the entry-level developers. Over the past few days, I've been collecting a couple different videos that I knew that I would want to watch and react to later on. Haven't watched these at all. This first one's from Kenny Gunderman called "What Entry-Level Developers Should Focus On." Let's run it.
The days of learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and walking into a 100K a year job are over. The market is flooded with experienced engineers. If you want a chance to land a job, you need to stand out. And here's how you can do that: by cultivating a professional brand. And no, I don't mean a social.
I know that sounds familiar to y'all who have been following, right? Make a personal brand. I think he's about to say not social media, though.
Social media brand, even though that could certainly help. I mean a professional developer brand. For developers, your professional brand is shaped by the projects that you've worked on, your resume, and how you present yourself on platforms like LinkedIn. Together, these elements signal your skills and your experience to potential employers. Now, your goal...
That's extremely true. One thing that isn't talked about enough and that people don't think about enough when you're a junior, when you're a beginner, is that unfortunately you definitely want to hide the fact that you're a beginner. In this landscape that we're living in these days, nobody really wants to give the new guy a chance, especially when you got so many professionals getting laid off and out there on the job market. A big problem that people say a lot is that you hire a junior, you train them, you get them to a certain point, and then they leave and go work for someone else making more money. So that's one of the many reasons why. I mean, not only that, also you want to blend in, with everyone else to get yourself a better chance. Because and another thing about being new is that it means you're probably not going to get hired for as much. I know a lot of us, we just want a chance. We don't even really care about that first paycheck. But just the more that you can kind of like mask the fact that you're newer, the better. But we're also not finessing. You want to have your experience up. And that's what is going to even give you the ability to mask yourself, right? You have to create your own projects that don't look like school projects. Don't look like school to-do lab apps, school weather apps. That's why freelancing is so important. Starting your own agency, giving yourself that experience in, say it's WordPress, so you build WordPress websites for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for businesses. Freelancing, you make that into a company, make that LinkedIn, you're the president of it, working for there, and that's how you get your experience up. So between that, posting and sharing content, I'm always recommending people to start a YouTube. You don't even have to put your face on it. It could be, you can hide yourself that way. Just trying to give my take on, because I know for a fact that is what helped me, and that is what can help you guys. But let's keep going. What else he talking about?
Goal is to cultivate a brand that reflects experience and expertise, even if you are just starting out. And this doesn't mean just seeming experienced. It's about gaining valuable experience and then showcasing that effectively. I want you to think of building your developer brand as a pyramid. At the top level is your LinkedIn profile, below that is your resume, but at the foundation is your portfolio. While all levels of this pyramid are crucial, your primary focus should be on developing a solid portfolio.
Yeah, let's pause it right here because it's entirely facts, right? So your portfolio, and that's where you can have the most fun too. You know what I mean? That's where you're going to find out if you really even want to be a developer or not, right? If you could spend a whole Saturday bug fixing, right? The only way for you to find that out is to get off of the tutorials, think of a cool idea, with React, with whatever it is that you're into, front end, back end, whatever, right? Think of something that you would like to work for and then build it for yourself from scratch. When I say from scratch, that's making sure that you're not following a tutorial where somebody isn't going to hit any error screens. You have to, what example can we give, right? Say you want to work for a startup, app, right? Now we could easily think of like what type of startup app would you want to be? Say it's crypto. Say it's a blockchain project, right? You want to make a game for a blockchain project. So then you would open up ChatGPT. You would say, "What tech stack do I need to make this?" Right? And then you would start there from scratch and getting it as far as you can. Like, that's where you're really gonna learn. Not only are you gonna learn how to code properly, how to be a software engineer, you're gonna learn what it's really like, because as soon as you get off the tutorials, a lot of times people are in for a rude awakening what it's really like to build a project, right? It's a whole lot of um finagling, for lack of a better term. But that's where you get your experience, and I love how he put that at the bottom of the pyramid here, because it's the most important. Not only for the people who are going to hire you, but also for yourself. That's where you're really gonna find out, and then it shows, and then it just feeds into everything else. That will make your resume. You won't really have to do much for your resume at that point, and then you share all this stuff on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn, that's where now your soft skills come into play. Your ability to market yourself, your communication, your networking. And not only that, you have to tap into your local community. If you have a tech scene in your area, there's a LinkedIn click. If you have that in your area, there's events in your area where all the people who you need to add to your LinkedIn, because you need to infiltrate that zone right there. And then when they so what do? That's when you hit them with the bottom of your portfolio. And if it gets to where they want to see the middle, you're already on track.
Crucial, your primary focus should be on developing a solid portfolio, because this is where you will build authority in your work. Your portfolio is where you will establish your set of credentials, the thing that tells people you know what you're doing, that you know how to build real software and not just simple HTML and CSS landing pages. One of the key levers to influence is authority. This is what will make you.
Let's highlight that for a second. Not only landing pages is key. Your portfolio is already going to show that you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Even if it's a template, you at least know enough to get it to work, right? So you don't even need more than one of those on your thing, for real. You want to show a little back end. You want to show a little, creativity there. Something impressive, something that's going to really stand out to show that you can solve the problems that are going to pop up in production, right? When you need to do something legitimate, right? Like, yeah, for real.
You attractive to employers. Now, despite being told your whole life to not judge a book by its cover, most humans are quick to judge by appearance. And because recruiters are your ticket to landing a tech job, if you don't quickly impress them with your resume and the work that you've done, you will not get any call back. So how do you build authority in your work? Well, if you have previous work experience, then that should suffice as your set of credentials. And from there, you would just need to work with a professional resume writer to help your previous experience stand out. But for those who don't have experience already, this is what you need to do. You need to build a set of thoroughly developed portfolio projects. And I'm not just talking about simple HTML and CSS landing pages or tutorials that you've copied verbatim from Udemy. I'm talking about projects that you've spent time and effort crafting. Projects that solve some real-world problem. Projects that really set you apart from all the other junior developers out there. Because when you build your own projects, when you don't have the crutch of a tutorial to lean on, you will struggle a ton at first, but it's in this struggle where you will learn the most as a new developer. And if
we have to stop and highlight and say that again and zoom in again. That is so important, because these things that kick your ass when you're actually building level you up, and then you lock it in, and then it's not a problem again in the future. Or even if it is, it's still that part like, ooh, wait a minute, this dependency cannot be used with this version of Node. I remember that. I had to go to Stack Overflow and research that already. you're gonna hit problems. That's what software development is. Literally, you can't just code and it works out. You know what I mean? Nothing goes together with the other thing without a little bit of tweaking. It's one thing that I found out. It's like, man, I feel like every single time I make a change, something breaks. But at this point that I have gained enough experience, it doesn't even phase me. You know what I mean? I expect it even. I'm like, okay, commit. Okay, where's the error? Okay, now I need to go here to fix it. Okay, now we keep it moving. You know what I mean? And that is what it's all about. And when you're doing courses, when you're doing tutorials, it takes you so long to get to that part, and then it can be very, very jarring. So I always want to just make sure, because it's super, super key. But let this not discourage you, my people. Let this encourage you, because I still want y'all to push through, because the rewards is that much worth it when you get there. But also, we have to be realistic along the journey. We have to not sugarcoat things and try to make it seem like it's going to be sweet the whole ride. Some of the tutorials can give you that impression. I really want, maybe I'll be one of the ones leading that charge of doing realistic tutorials where I'm also showing the problems. You know what I mean? I wonder if when people are doing tutorials, oftentimes, of course at one point something had to not work, right? Did they really yell cut and then cut all of that out in order to finish the tutorial again, flawlessly for the user experience, so that they can just copy and paste and watch, and then in the end have a shiny new app or whatever it is that they built, but lacking the real experience of actually building it is an issue for me. We need that. That is what makes you able to look in the mirror and say, I am a software engineer. It's because I got the scars to prove it. I've been battle tested. The tutorials, you're not battle tested. And I think that is also a problem why it's hard for junior developers to break in. This is a bit of a conspiracy. I'm kind of freestyling on this one. I'm not sure, but I can definitely imagine somebody getting hired who only did tutorials, and their resume reflected that. You still gave them a chance, even though they only really did tutorials and landing pages, and then some real shit happens in development where you need them to now build something, and they're struggling with it, hitting problems. They're not used to the struggle, and what should take a week has taken 2 months or something, you know what I mean? And it's just bad all around for everybody. So before you get yourself to that point, because that's what the future is going to look like, you're going to have problems in development. You might as well start now. And that's what entry-level developers should focus on.
And if you extend that time frame of building thoroughly developed projects over the course of 6 months to a year, it's inevitable that you will gain experience and the know-how that employers are looking for. Now, if you want a better idea on the projects that you can build,
I'm never putting B-roll into my videos. I'm sorry.
You can check out my video on portfolio creation within my free programming community at softwaredeveloperacademy.com. Now, inside of this community, you'll gain access to a free
I'm a part of this group. It's awesome.
Course called the Programming Protocol that will take you through how to land a job as a new programmer. And you also gain access to active forums that over 5,000 aspiring software developers like you use to ask questions, get career advice, and then to help others. Anyways, with that being said, a solid portfolio will make you stand out so much more than somebody who has maybe a bachelor's degree.
Is he inside of a hallway?
And little demonstration that they know how to develop real-world software. And once you build this foundation, you'll be able to tend to the second level of the developer pyramid by building a high-quality resume packed with tons of data that showcases your skill. Here's an example of some fake portfolio projects theoretically built over the course of a year and how these projects could be showcased on an entry-level resume. Notice how each project is carefully detailed, giving the impression that each was a professional engagement or position that I held. upheld. Now, I actually spent hundreds of dollars and hired a professional resume writer to make this resume,
Hundreds of dollars?
which is something that you could do if you wanted to, or you could download this resume for free. The link for that is in the description. Now, once you create your resume from the projects that you've built, you should be able to transfer that resume data over to a LinkedIn profile. And while your LinkedIn profile is the smallest layer in the developer brand pyramid, it will be your biggest funnel for getting eyeballs on you. It is so pivotal that you have a very professional presence on LinkedIn with a detailed bio, a professional headshot, and a display of competency. And because another lever of influence is social proof, by boosting your connections, getting skill endorsements, and gathering reviews on your LinkedIn profile, you will prove to recruiters that you are respected and liked. If you're solely relying on the spray and pray method of finding a job, applying to that job through a posting, and hoping for a callback, you are massively handicapping yourself. With a finely tuned
Massively handicapping yourself, massively. The way that you could boost your chances is everything that he's saying here. And the only thing I can think of that's missing a little bit is the in-person connections. Like, bruh, in person, I'll say it again. There's a group of developers outside of your house. If you're in, UK, America, a place like that, they're already there hanging out next Tuesday at the coffee spot. The only thing is you're not there yet. But there's nothing really stopping you from being there. If you're interested in React, and this is a React meetup, there you go. JavaScript, same thing. Front end, back end, Python, whatever it is, you have to find those things. And then when you get there, make sure that you're adding people to your LinkedIn, right? Because it's going to fall in line with everything else that is giving yourself the highest chance for success. While you're still learning, while you're still building, while you're still, if you're really serious about breaking into tech, changing your life, going from wherever you're doing now to doing that, I know that this may sound like a lot of hoopla and like jumping through hoops for someone who really just wants to code, but we're just trying to give ourselves the highest amount of chances that we can, and I'm trying to encourage. Now, obviously, you don't have to, but we're just talking about what is the most that I can do. And I'm speaking from experience, the things that I did that actually helped me get hired,
tuned profile that's enriched by social proof, and LinkedIn opening you up to a pool of recruiters inside of their recruiter algorithm, you're much more likely to receive a direct message from recruiters about job opportunities.
I can also say that is a fact. Got a DM from a recruiter before the market got all crazy, right? Which, maybe it was just in the beginning of that. It's not like I've been coding for years, but got a message from a recruiter and a little interview with him where he was going to hire me I was already hired. So that kind of I was literally starting my job the next week. And he had a React position available for me. The criteria was a little bit more strict. I joined a startup. This was a legitimate company that was looking for someone who was working professionally with React for 2 years already. You know what I mean? So I was like, I can't. But, it was all good because I was headed to work anyway. Startups are known for kind of giving juniors a bit more of a chance to prove themselves there. So I tell people, zoom in on the startup community, and then to help get your foot in the door, start your path that way. It's going to be a long road. Let's keep it going.
And not only that, when you apply to a job, you can directly opportunities. And not only that, when you apply to a job, you can directly find the recruiter who posted the job and DM them personally. Now, they won't respond every time, but just by going that extra step to reach out significantly increases your chances of getting a callback and getting interviews on the schedule. And since recruiters serve as your gateway to securing interviews, if there's one key takeaway from this video, it's this: step into the recruiter's shoes. Why would a recruiter want to reach out to you? Why would a recruiter want to respond to your job application? After all, their job, their livelihood, is solely based on finding the best possible candidate. And why should they assume that's you? People have this idea that if, oh, well, even though I don't have job experience, if I can somehow express to a recruiter that I'm ready to work hard, then maybe they'll hire me. And then they do this thing where they explicitly state on their LinkedIn profile or on their resume that they're an entry-level developer and that they're hoping to find their first job. And
Yes, never do that. Remove junior, entry level, aspiring from your resume, from your LinkedIn, from your universe. Remove those words. There should be no entry level, no aspiring, no junior in your vocabulary.
And while that might work for you in some cases, it won't work in most. It's kind of like DMing a girl and saying, hey, I've never had a girlfriend before, but I'm hoping that you'll be my first. It sort of comes off as desperate. And while getting a job and finding a girlfriend is different, the human dynamic is the same. People don't want something that other people don't want. You must present yourself as confident on LinkedIn, on your resume, and when you're actually talking to recruiters or interviewing for a company. And to be confident, you must have competence, which is why if you do this following outline of 1, spending time building high quality portfolio projects, I'm talking 6 to 12 months, 2, hiring a professional resume writer to showcase the projects that you've built on your resume in a effective way, and 3, building a high quality LinkedIn from your resume, you will naturally gain confidence just by.
Sad but true. Shout out to Kenny. I'll link his channel in the description. Again, this is golden information for the junior developers out there. This is exactly what you should focus on. Take it from me, we're not using the word junior anymore. A software engineer, a web developer, full stack dev working for a startup. And if you like the content, join the community. We have a lot of things planned this year. Join the school, join the Discord. All the links are in the description. I'm Lionel the Builder, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.